you done now?
Can we help? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb the whole household, but my car broke down out here, and I was wondering if I could use your phone.
Just a moment, please.
Very well, sir. Would you care to come in?
Well, where is it?
What, the body?
The phone. What body?
But there's nobody. Nobody. There's nobody in the study. No.
No.
But I think there's a phone in the lounge.
Thank you.
When you've finished your call, perhaps you'd be good enough to wait here.
Certainly.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Clue the Movie Podcast, where we break down the 1985 cult classic movie Clue 1 minute at a time. We are 41 minutes in, and we are now on the 42nd minute to break down. My name is Brad Gilmore, as always, joined by the director of Whodunit, the Clue documentary, available to stream on Screenbox, as well as to purchase on iTunes, Amazon Prime, and the like. His name is Jeff Smith.
And the like. Yes, I'm here. It's been available for a whole week, depending on when you listen to this.
How do you feel, man?
Well, I will pretend that we are not recording this before it's released, which I'm always fascinated by. When you listen to directors' commentaries on some movies, they record them before the movie comes out in theaters. And sometimes it's a movie that does not do well, but they think it's going to do well. So in the commentary, they're going, "Oh, this is one of the funniest scenes ever." And it could be like the one that nobody liked, or in all the reviews that got poo-pooed on. And it's kind of fun. Like, I remember getting the DVD of the Gus Van Sant remake of Psycho, which is terrible. But he did a commentary with Gus Van Sant and Vince Vaughn and Anne Heche, I believe. And they were just talking about, the movie's about to come out, and it's what's amazing experiment we're doing, and it's going to be great. And, it was not, and it did not. So I feel good, to answer your question. I'm so happy with the way the release has been released of Whodunit, the Clue documentary on Screenbox, and I appreciate all the wonderful reviews that it's gotten, and all the stars and the thumbs,
and even local media attention.
Well, can we talk about that?
Yeah,
sure.
You made an appearance on the CW39 Spotlight with Brad Gilmore.
Houston, baby.
H-Town.
Yeah, I can't walk the streets in Houston now.
What do you know about Houston, Texas?
I know 3 of my favorite movies involve Houston.
Really? Rushmore?
Superman 2.
Oh, what happened?
Ooh, 4. Superman 2. He mispronounces it. The planet Houston.
Oh,
they're not really in Houston, but he's from space, so they go planet Houston.
Yeah, got it.
He mistakes that he's from planet Houston. Of course, Apollo 13, Houston, we have a problem, which I'm sure everybody in Houston loves to hear.
We've never heard that one before, actually.
Yeah, it's a new one. And then Bad News Bears, Breaking Training. They play in the old Astrodome.
That's right. Which is still standing, by the way.
Play. Is it really? They don't play there. What does it do?
It's been empty.
What's it for? Swap meet?
No one uses it.
Homeless?
No one uses it. It's just empty.
Shelter? Nothing. It's just gotta be something in there. Something's growing.
Just empty. Rushmore.
Should be a horror movie in there.
Rushmore was filmed actually at my high school.
You had mentioned that before.
Yeah.
That is right. I don't know if you mentioned that on the air, but I know you've mentioned that before.
Yeah, I went to Marabou B. Lamar High School. And Marabou, or Marabeau, as some people say, was the second president of the Republic of Texas when we were our own country, before we became part of the United States of America.
You're not still trying to secede, are you?
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think
Stick
we're
around.
fine. I mean, we like it.
Okay.
We like it here.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We've been around like 178 years. So I mean, I think we're sticking. Look, Jeff.
42 is what I'm excited about. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to jump into the format.
Now let's drop in and let's start talking about minute 42 of this movie. Now, in the last edition of this show, we started talking about obviously The Motorist and Jeffrey Kramer, Santa Claus the movie, other films that came out in 1985. Of course, we talked about Back to the Future. But you actually had a little bit of a stat for us, or some facts regarding
I've got some research.
How well this movie did at the box office in its initial release.
Clue. Okay. So Clue was released on December 13th, 1985, which at the time was not a good time for movies to come out. It was a week and a half before Christmas. And I'll just tell you what the top 10 was. I will tell you this, though. There was another movie, 2 movies came out the same weekend as Clue. Clue and the theatrical version of the Broadway show, A Chorus Line. And A Chorus Line did much, much worse. And I have that written down here somewhere.
It did worse?
Oh, yeah. Than Clue. Chorus Line did not make the top 10.
Yes.
Chorus Line hit Lucky 13, and its opening weekend made $222,919.
It's not very good.
No, very bad. The top 10 that weekend, though, I will tell you, this will show you what movies were like in 85 and the staying power of a certain movie that was a much bigger success for Christopher Lloyd than Clue.
I don't know.
Because coming in at number 10, even though it was a summer movie, Back to the Future, week 24. Week 24 was number 10, the box office.
Now I'm going to grab
Number
something
9.
off my shelf over here while you talk.
Okay, go ahead. Number 9 was the Cannon Films answer to the Indiana Jones movies, King Solomon's Mines, in its 4th week. Number 8 was a Disney Christmas movie called One Magic Christmas.
Never heard of it.
Nope, it's with Mary Steenburgen.
Oh, well, I love Mary Steenburgen.
She's great to go back to the Future. Number 7 was Young Sherlock Holmes in its 2nd week, produced by Steven Spielberg. Not a big hit. Number 6 was Clue. Its first weekend, it made $2,014,166 doll hairs. Number 5 was Santa Claus the movie in its 3rd week with the aforementioned Jeffrey Kramer, also John Lithgow and Dudley Moore. Number 4 was White Nights, which I believe is a dancing movie as well.
Well, sounds great.
Its 4th week. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was number 4. Number 3 was Spies Like Us.
Oh, now that's a great one.
Directed by John Landis, producer of Clue, who originally was going to direct Clue, but did not direct Clue to make Spies Like Us. His movie came out 2 weeks before Clue and beat the pants off of Clue at the box.
Wow. So Chevy did Fletch and Spies Like Us in 85?
85 is a good Chevy year. Number 2 was Jewel of the Nile.
Yes,
that was also in its first week. I'm sorry, there were 3 movies. Jewel of the Nile, the sequel to Romancing the Stone, not directed by Robert Zemeckis.
And not as good.
And not as good, but fine.
It's all right.
And had a wonderful theme song called The Going Gets Tough by Billy Ocean.
I don't remember.
Great song. And then number 1 for the 3rd week in a row, Rocky 4, I Must Break You.
85 was so great, man.
85, man.
Just
think of the movies that aren't on there.
Now I'm going
That summer, yeah.
And obviously we're going to jump into the minute here in just a moment, but I will say Rocky 4, it's low on my list of Rocky movies. Just because I think 1 and 3 are perfect. I think 2 is really good. Sometimes I put 4 over 2, but I think it goes for me Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 2, Rocky 6, and then Rocky 5, of course.
Yeah, Rocky 5. Well, Rocky 3, it depends on how you like your Rocky.
Right.
If you like your best picture Rocky, then 1 and 2 are the way to go.
Right.
If you need your 80s mixed in with your Rocky, And you need two villains, Mr. T and Thunderlips.
Hulk
Sorry,
Hogan.
Clubber Lang and Thunderlips.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. Not really a villain because they make up at the end of the match, but wonderful. And that's because that's where Rocky is. He's losing his way. He's letting success.
I know. Then Mick dies, and then Apollo
Loses
trains
the Eye
him.
of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. Anyway, the last thing I want to say about the movies from 1985, and then we'll jump into Clue, is Back to the Future was released on July the 3rd, 1985. Now, it was originally slated for July 19th, but when they screened it for test audiences, it had such an ovation, such a reaction, such positive feedback. The studio said, we need this movie earlier than expected. And so they released
We can't wait till the 19th.
Look, so they released it on July 3rd to take advantage of the July 4th weekend. Now, this is the original promotional pin released.
Just holding up a pin, folks, that says on July 3rd, I'm going Back to the Future.
And it has the Back to the Future logo. Not the
I have a
original.
feeling you're about to hold up.
You're about to be right. Now, this is going to be
blue?
the original release date and the original colors.
Mm-hmm.
The original colors of Back to the Future were like gray and blue.
Yeah, now he's holding one that says on July 19th, I'm going Back to the Future. What do you think was the color change reasoning, author of Back from the Future?
You know what? I am actually not 100% certain on that. And I
knew you would be, and I like to do this to you because you do this to me all the time. You'll ask the one question that I don't have any idea to.
I guarantee that it was just a marketing decision.
Well, the current logo feels more like Superman and Goonies, and it's the adventure action font.
It's more Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, yeah, it's very Indiana Jones.
Very Indiana Jones. So it's probably just a marketing call. You know what? I'm actually curious about that myself, and I'm going to email someone I know who will know the answer to that question. Actually, I'm going to ask him while we're doing this podcast. But let's talk about minute 42 of Clue the movie. Now, it starts off with the motorist, where we left off in the last one. Now, he's about to ask if he can use the phone because his car broke down. As we talked about in minute 41, the motorist, in the original script, we see him swerve out of the way of a cat, and he crashes his car, therefore needs help at the Hill House. But we have theorized in an earlier version of this episode of this podcast that maybe the motorist and Colonel Mustard were in cahoots the whole time through. I'm sorry.
We also
Mr. Body. I'm sorry.
Mr. Body, yes.
That's what
he dropped off Mr. Body, yes. So he could have been circling around the house, and then that cat jumped out, and maybe he didn't intend to come in because maybe his only job was to be the driver. And then that darn cat.
Which was
you would think that
fun movie.
Yeah, excellent. 2 movies. It was Christina Ricci's a remake.
And there's did not know that.
Yeah. But you would think that if it was a cat, if it were me and I were the motorist and I came to the door, I don't think I'd be so nonchalant with, hey, my car broke down. I think I'd be like, oh, you will not believe what just happened. I was driving around in the rain, and this freaking car just looked. Do you guys have a cat? Are you missing a cat? Because I almost ran over him, and I'd like to talk to your manager. Where's the phone?
Where's the phone?
That'd be now. Where's the phone?
That'd be now. I actually will tell you this, and I didn't plan on going into this. But I was in Las Vegas about a week ago at the time of this recording, or a few days ago, really, at the time of the recording. And I was going through the casino, and in my head, I said, you know what? If they ever remake Clue, instead of putting it all in a house, it should be in like a hotel casino type atmosphere in Vegas. And all of their blackmail, quote unquote, is just gambling debt. Right? That's the baggage that they bring to the table to get them in the casino, literally. And that's
now,
how.
Would this be like downtown, like seedy, like old casino?
Yeah, I'm thinking like the Sahara in the 70s.
Right. Or like the Plaza.
Or like the Plaza. Yeah, or the International. you know, where Elvis played, and we could even have a whole Elvis subplot in there. Early 70s.
Instead of a singing telegram.
It's Elvis. Can you imagine? That's actually great.
And then they shoot Elvis. Yeah. It's like Tarantino. It's rewriting history.
We'll rewrite the history. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
for
the Clue Casino movie.
In the original script, in the original draft of the script that we have provided to us, this is where it says we are in the script. And so we'll read this for the people. The motorist, here we go. Led by Wadsworth, they all rush to the front door. Wadsworth throws the door open, pulls back his arm rapidly, preparing to throw the key into the night, and realizes that he is standing face to face with the motorist. The motorist thinks Wadsworth is about to punch him, and he half ducks and put his hands to defend himself and to stave off the attack. Wadsworth's throwing arm freezes. Wadsworth, sorry. Can we help? From the motorist's point of view, we see 8 people are packed into the front door, staring at him with various expressions of fear, suspicion, and hysteria. Motorist, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb the whole household, but my car broke down out there and I was wondering if I could use your phone. Wadsworth, just a moment, please. All 8 people turn into each other and hastily have a whispered conference. Oh, love that line. A hasty whispered conference. I got to write that down. We again see them from the motorist POV. Occasional words float out of the huddle. He wants to use the phone. I say no. What's he doing round here? Love that line too. How can we say no? All right. Yes, agreed. Wadsworth turns and tries to look as dignified and normal as possible and says, very well, sir. Would you like to come in? The motorist cracking a joke. Unless you've got a phone out here, yes. Nobody laughs. The motorist steps in. All 8 people just stare at him. Motorist, well, where is it? Wadsworth, what? The body? He inadvertently let the question slip out. The others react. The motorist, the phone, a beat. What body? Wadsworth, nobody. There's nobody in the study. He points to the study door. The motorist starts walking towards it. Simultaneously, everyone realizes that there are bodies in there. Oh, no. Wadsworth, no, that's been disconnected, but I think there's one in the lounge. Motorist, thank you. Walk this way. He sets off doing his usual dignified butler walk. The motorist realizes, that all eyes are on him, follows Wadsworth in an exact imitation of Wadsworth's idiosyncratic walk. And then they go into the lounge. Once you've made your call, will you wait here? He says, certainly. And Wadsworth retreats the door, opens it, and goes out. So, I mean, pretty much the same. Yeah. Couple things different.
I like that they got rid of that silly little joke about unless you got a phone out here.
I mean, unless you got a phone out here.
Out of the rain.
In the rain. I don't want to be in the rain. The rain.
I wonder if they filmed that too. Interesting.
It would be interesting.
Did I ask you for Kramer that? No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. You didn't. By the way, from what I've heard, no particular reason for it, just an internal decision. More importantly, though, you can see a slight change in the logo itself. Look at the top of the A. Oh, yes, there is a change in the actual logo itself.
Or we're going back to the future logo, everybody.
Yes,
That's
sorry. Just wanted to read that out. That's from my inside source, whose name cannot be revealed. Yeah.
Michael J. Fox.
Exactly. Sounds just like that.
J. Fox, actually, so.
We'll talk after this.
Come on, look at the logo.
So now the other thing that stuck out to me about the motorist in this particular scene, when he's talking on the doorstep as it's raining down, that's obvious ADR, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm sure they've got the rain coming down. We're on the sound stage still. The whole front porch is still on the stage. I'm 99% sure. So yeah, his crystal clear dialogue is good.
No, it's great.
And I'm glad the script said what they were whispering, because I was trying to really listen to what that stuff. That must be fun to do as an actor, to record what was the huddle called? A
hasty whispered conference.
Yeah. I want to write a hasty
whispered conference.
Whispered conference into every script.
It's actually one of the great things I've ever read in any script. A hasty.
Yeah, because you know exactly what they mean.
Even if you've never seen the movie, you know exactly what that is. You know how to play that as an actor. Oh, it's like this. One of those things.
Yeah, so this is Jeffrey Kramer. He comes in at the last minute. He was cast because he had done Halloween 2, which was produced by Deborah Hill. And so he was friends with Deborah Hill. And then when Clue came up, he had the opportunity to audition, and he got it. And I was able to interview him. He's super nice for the Who Done It, the Clue documentary. And he is just super grateful that he's in this movie with this cast. And he was the one that Laker Jim got the autograph from at a convention. Laker Jim had Jeffrey Kramer signed his Clue poster. And Jeffrey Kramer said, "Do you know we made a documentary?"
Right.
I would have loved if it had been me. If I had Candy sign this and he said, "Did you know we made a documentary?"
Did you?
I heard.
The thing about Jeffrey Kramer, I've fallen into this pattern recently where I like to look up, like, did they have a good run regarding their acting career? So he had Jaws, as we know. I mean, that's pretty good. It's going to be pretty high on anybody's list. Now, in Jaws, he's Deputy Lenny Hendricks, is how he's credited. And he also goes under the name Jeffrey C. Kramer. That's 1975. If we fast forward to Jaws 2, 1978, he's credited as Deputy Jeff Hendricks.
He got his own real name.
He went from Lenny to Jeff. Same last name, same title of deputy, but a different first name. Interesting. From there, as far as big name stuff, I mean, he was in MASH, Laverne and Shirley, big television shows at the time. He was in Halloween 2, as you just talked about. He was in an episode of The Incredible Hulk TV show. So good. It was in Happy Days as a series regular. Then Santa Claus the movie in 85, Clue the movie in 85. He was a voiceover actor in The Burbs in 89. And then didn't do much after that.
He's producing now.
He's doing a lot of production. Yeah, that's what they have him on here. A lot of producing, including Ally McBeal. That's pretty good. The Practice. Big show. Armed and Famous.
When I met him for the interview for the documentary, it was on, I forget which lot now, but it was that he had an office on one of the lots. So that was fun.
If you have an office on the lot.
You had an office on the lot.
You're going somewhere.
He's already there.
Well, he is already there. Now, as far as him being in the lounge on the phone.
Yeah, I want to talk about that anyway. I think this is when the movie kind of starts to get scary.
Because you hear the score come in right there. And it's a very disturbing score.
There's a tone change.
There's a super tone change. So what are we thinking here?
Well, I don't think we're suspicious of him. We don't think he's there on purpose. We think this poor guy is toast. And we find out later he has toast, by the way, everybody. But we just know it's just a matter of time. Something bad's going to happen. And the music definitely. The music's been fun. It's not like wacky music, but it's got the fun nature to it. And now it's just spooky, scary murder music by John Morris. And something bad's going to happen. And then when Wadsworth locks the door and you see the knob kind of twitch and Jeffrey Kramer is selling that he's scared and thinking, why did I come to this house?
Now, I understand that it's in the script. That's the reason he walks in the door. But let's look at this in real life.
I love it when we do that, yeah.
Because
knock, knock.
This would never happen today ever, right? It would be a very rare occurrence if somebody goes up to a stranger's house and asks to use the phone. However, let's operate under that assumption. It's a rainy day. Your car broke down. You've probably walked to the nearest home that you could find due to the volume of the precipitation falling upon you. And you knock on the door, probably expecting at least a single person to answer, but you're greeted by 8.
Yeah.
Do you not get
First,
weirded
he had
out?
to get past the gates. He had to get by the gates.
And apparently he finagled his way through the gate.
So either
Gate
he
was no
squeezed
problem.
through or he hopped over. Yeah. And a long walk all the way up.
Quite the walk.
But we don't
again,
know what other houses are around.
But we have to assume from the wide shot that we see of the Hill House that I did not see any neighbors. I did not see any neighboring homes or homesteads or properties of any kind. So this could be a very remote place. And where do we think this is? Probably somewhere in Massachusetts.
Oh,
New
we
England
talked
area.
about, yeah, I think not New Hampshire,
Maine?
Vermont. Is Vermont in New
Who
England?
the hell
I don't know.
knows? This is where you're supposed to
I
be from.
should. I've spent 2 years here.
But obviously it's a stately residence, so it's going to have quite a cornucopia of property available to it in the surrounding area. And I do not feel as though that there was any property adjacent or close by the Hill House. So he makes the long pilgrimage up, and then when he's greeted by these 8 people, I would be out immediately. If you say, because first of all, I don't want to impose anyway. And then if I see, like he said, I don't want to disturb the whole household, that would put me off. Then the hastily whispered conference would probably be, if I was already so on it, once that occurs, I'm all the way out. I'm gone.
I would assume they're whispering, how can we kill this guy and eat him with our monkey brains? But see, I don't know, because for me, I'd be so embarrassed that I made the whole trek.
Right.
That how do you get out of that situation? How do you say, you know what, guys, my car did not break down. I will go to the neighbor that does not exist. Thanks, though. You all creep me out. No, he's in. He's stuck.
He's all the way in.
He's there. And that's why he walks in and he stared them down. He's like, this is bad. And then when they lock him in, he knows.
Well, we know that his fate is going to be played out in in another edition of this show that we'll get to, and we do not know who he's about to call. Assuming we know he's going to call for help, but we don't know who he's calling, and we don't know what their conversation will entail. And we're going to find that out soon. Is there anything else in this minute that you really want to make mention of?
Let's see. We talked about Jeffrey Kramer. We talked about that it's scary. We talked about Who Done It, the Clue documentary streaming on Screambox.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about your book.
We did. Learned a little bit about Back to the Future logos.
We did the top 10 movies of 85. This is a good, very informative.
I think this is a good place to put a ribbon on it.
This should get a review. This should get a review from somebody listening right now.
We're going to put a bow on this one. We're going to come back with 43 next week, where we can really dive deeper into what happens to Jeffrey Kramer and what the other 8 characters, the 8 living characters right now. So Jeffrey Kramer, I guess, is the 11th person we've been introduced to in this movie. Is that correct?
The 8, the cook.
You have the 6 game piece characters. You have Wadsworth the vet, that's 8. Body, cook, that's 10.
Yeah.
Motorist is 11.
Lucky 11.
So we'll see what happens.
These go to 11.
And we're going to find out what's going to happen next week right here on Clue the Movie Podcast. Make sure you stream the new documentary, Who Done It, the Clue documentary on Streambox, or you can buy it on iTunes or Amazon Prime like I did. And I'm also, boom, a physical copy owner on Blu-ray. And you know what, Jeff? Congratulations on the documentary finally being out there for the people. I know it's an exciting time for you.
Not in the UK yet, as they've reminded me.
Well, in the United Kingdom, you're going to have your day, and your Boxing Day will be soon, and we're going to all celebrate it together as a Cluvian family. But until next time, this has been Clue the Movie Podcast. You can follow him on all social media. Find him at Jeff Smith. You can find me at Brad Gilmore. You're Jeff C. Smith on Twitter. Or on X.
Yeah. What do we do?
UX. You're going to follow you on X.
Is it x.com?
It's x.com.
Oh, that's PayPal, right?
No, it's x.com. Yeah, it's x.com.
I don't like it.
It's strange. But you can follow him there, and you can follow me there. You can follow me on Threads and Instagram and Facebook, all at Brad Gilmore. I'm lucky enough to hold that one down. But you cannot find me at bradgilmore.com. You will find a therapist in Los Angeles, California. But until next time, this has been Cluedo Movie Podcast, and we'll be back with minute 43 of Cluedo Movie.